It's very important that we get active for the animals, for the environment, which also means for our own survival.
Go.
The fact that it has gotten to this scale, that we kill 2.7 trillion animals every year, should be alarming enough.
It was an invasion. Did they have weapons for a start? Are they militant? They're running at me.
Now, we're non-violent, we're not going to hurt you.
I don't care. Have they got a gun? You know, I was fearing for my life.
But the problem is, it just happens behind walls and it happens outside cities. No one really thinks about it. No one really sees it in their daily life.
Challenging these kind of cultural norms and values are quite difficult. You almost like need to have a exceptional kind of strength to do it. Most people will swim with the tide.
Oh my God, there's a dead cow!
Oh my God! We're not born cruel, we're born with good hearts and we care about animals.
Speciesism is a type of discrimination that is based on the species of a certain being. That means we actually look at what species they come from and we either give them a certain value or not.
The people who coined the word, Richard Ryder, and it was popularised by Peter Singer, they kind of see it in an individualistic kind of way. In other words, like a prejudice held by individuals. Sociologists tend to think of it more of an ideology, that it's embedded into the very kind of fabric of society. So for sociologists like David Nybert and myself, we would see speciesism as kind of more fundamental and in a way kind of stronger. It's not just something that individuals hold, it's something that is really kind of flows through society.
I know what you're thinking.
Tables and bed.
Thank you, mate. A barbecue joint in Texas seems to be an odd place to start a story on vegans. But the thing is, I really need to lay my cards on the table here because I am and have long been a red meat-loving carnivore. But it seems people like me are under attack.
Over the past year, I spent a lot of time in the streets with inspiring activists from all around the globe. However, after this, I couldn't help but wonder if there was a more direct way to help animals. I heard about a group of Australian activists who were participating in something called direct action. So I headed their way to find out more about the people being labeled as extremists, and by some, even terrorists.
That's right. So, as you all know, you would have seen the signal chat. Somebody has reported this action and this location where we were going to meet here in the morning, but now obviously we can't because the police are monitoring the property for 24 hours. Somebody called Crime Stoppers, and then Crime Stoppers informed the police, and then the police called, where's Kate? Kate?
Yep.
Then, oh, you're right there.
Yes.
And then the police called you and
Yes.
the landlord?
My landlord.
Yeah.
It was Queensland Police from the Crime Stoppers line, so it wasn't a specific station.
Yeah, we didn't know which one.
Yeah, so, yeah, we tried, but yeah, they said basically someone to run Crime Stoppers was an anonymous call with very little information and basically said that there was an illegal protest.
Yeah. What I'm thinking about doing tonight is just letting everybody know that there won't be an action early hours of the morning, but there will be an action tomorrow afternoon, because the police are used to us having an action early hours of the morning. So if they patrol my house or they patrol the sanctuary, at least they will see that it's quiet and nothing's happening at early hours of the morning. But if I make it an afternoon action, maybe like 3 p.m, the police aren't going to be onto that as much. So I'm still going to go ahead with the action. The hard thing is I don't know who to trust within the communication platform that we're using at the moment.
And so who do you think might have told the police?
I can't say, but I've got my ideas.
So no names, but you think it may have been an activist?
Yeah, I think it's an activist with a little bit of hate towards me.
How's that feel?
Feels like a challenge because I'm going to take them down tomorrow anyway.
Sorry, did you just say do not cover your face?
Yeah, don't cover your face.
We
Because we don't want to look like criminals.
And by covering our face, we're letting people know that we feel guilty about something and we shouldn't have to live like that. So
Does that mean there's no mask?
Yeah, so no mask. We won't have any balaclavas.
We think we're doing like a good thing.
Balaclavas are people who are robbing banks and doing crimes.
Like the surgical mask?
It's still-
Oh, no, you'll get a surgical
Yeah,
mask
yeah.
still. So I've got the PP. Yeah. No, I thought you meant like we're putting a sock over our head. No, so a balaclava, no to covering up your face, but I've got the mask. If you want to bring sunnies as well.
This is Leah. She's one of the extremists that I was telling you about. And she's also the founder of an animal rights group called Meet the Victims.
I first went vegetarian when I was 8 years old. My dad took me to a battery farm to just get a couple of chickens to have as backyard hens for my mum. And I remember being in the car when he took me there and I saw them open the shed doors and I saw the chickens inside the cages and I was just shocked. I was 8 years old and we got 3 of them home and I saw the way that they looked up at the sky and the way that they felt the grass. And then I didn't go vegan until I was 25. Unfortunately, I didn't make that connection. Count. All right. Okay. Is anybody else in the toilet? Do we know? That's all right. So we've been up this morning at 7 a.m. at a public park. We've just driven an hour and 45 minutes to the next meeting spot. And from here, we're going straight to the location, which will be about a 50-minute drive from here. Wait, exactly 100?
100, so exactly, yeah.
Cool. I don't know if you know, but the police did show up to the park that we first met at, but it could be a coincidence that they were just driving past or, they may have gotten a call that heaps of people were meeting up. So we've been keeping an eye out and we think we're all good for now.
And how do you feel?
Anxious, but I'm ready to do this. That's adrenaline's what I get through.
There's a growing vegan activist movement and they're becoming increasingly hostile. Oh, beef ribs, thank you, mate. And they want us to put this and our steak knives down for good.
So, yeah, when police arrive, it's important that we just keep calm. We've really got nothing to hide. We're out here to show people where their food comes from and what happened, the standard practices of these industries. So, yeah, there's no need to fear police. We'll just cooperate with them and see where it goes from there.
I started activism in 2016. I was just an activist on Facebook, just making posts and getting 3 likes per post, really. And then I was invited to my first action, which was a counter-protest against the dairy farmers in the city, in Melbourne City. And it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. These dairy farmers were squirting cow's milk on us. I just couldn't believe it. They were ripping our signs out of our hands. It was so aggressive. But I think that just fueled me to what we are doing. And then I went to my first vigil a couple of weeks after that. I went all by myself. I didn't know anybody. And it was the most emotional experience for me because for the first time I saw pigs going in to their death and how scared they were and just how it honestly made me think about little kids on a truck, the way that they were looking out of the truck, so curious and not sure what was happening to them. And that just broke my heart that we are doing this to them.
To a meat-eating outsider, everything about going vegan seems extreme. For instance, these aren't animals in pens, they're enslaved. But there's some other more surprising things. You can't have woolen clothing because wool is from sheep. There's no silk from a silkworm, no honey from a bee. At the heart of it all is a philosophy that humans shouldn't impose their will on any animal, great or small.
I started Meet the Victims because my partner and I began open rescue in 2016. We started rescuing ourselves, and I realised how important this is. It is so important, and the difference between sharing somebody else's footage compared to sharing your own personal footage, there's a huge impact. And people think that I have an ego because of how I work my social media, but I know what works for me. I've studied it, and if I'm in the photo, people stop and look, and they will take notice of the animals. So I use myself to get the attention for the animals. When, as usual, like if you've been to one of the actions, you know when the police get there, they will say, who's the organiser? I need everybody to just raise your hands, because otherwise they will take me out. And I don't want to be taken into a divvy. Usually the media twist what our message is anyway, and they say that we've killed animals and things like that. We're causing them stress, things like that. So we're going in to get all of our footage. So if you can live stream or not, doesn't matter. Get as much footage as you can.
So I flew in from Miami a couple days ago, flew all the way from there, and I've been staying in Brisbane for the last few days, getting ready for this action, super pumped. I think it's gonna be awesome. We have like 150 activists, so it's gonna be a great turnout for the animals today. The main reason that we do it is to spread awareness to the media, get the masses to understand why we do this, and it's to refute speciesism, to teach people that it's no different to harm a cow as it is to harm your dog or cat at home. So we're just trying to break down those barriers where people think that it's acceptable to abuse and exploit one animal just because of the way they look. We all feel the same and are similar in all the ways that matter. So that's why we're here today. This is my first Meet the Victims action, and I'm really excited. I've been following Leah and Joanne and some of the other activists out of Australia for some time now, and I've been wanting to get involved, so super pumped today.
Around the world, hardline animal rights activists have declared war.
I see it as a form of terrorism, to be perfectly honest.
There is an escalating conflict between meat eaters and militant vegans.
Veganism is not a diet. It's a moral principle which extends to diet.
And there are Australians leading the charge on both sides. Tonight, just how far will these vegans go in this fiery ideological battle?
Putting on my fire hazard suit. And it's quite difficult in the car. This is the eternal struggle. Oh my God, that's the head.
I'm gonna find my t-shirt.
Oh wait, okay. So basically, you put it the wrong way. I might be able to help you out. Oh shit.
Recently, I was arrested from my house. There were 5 police cars that showed up, and they took me to the watch house at the next door to the police station. And a conversation that I had with the police was why I'm doing this. And they told me that I can't keep doing this. I'm going to get in trouble eventually. You know, trespass is getting more and more and more. This is my 4th charge. And I said to them, I have to trespass though to get this footage. How else do you want me to get the truth? If we ask to come in, they're going to give us an appointment after they've cleaned it up and they've hidden the darkness of what they're actually doing. And they're never going to let us do that anyway. So I said to the police officers, how do you want me to get the footage? Because it needs to be out there and I can't forget the animals. And they actually just went, I don't know. So there's my answer. This needs to be done.
Yeah, I think there's a problem, the fact that we have lost that initial radicalism. When it was a revolutionary idea, you know, anarchic even, you know. And in fact, there was a break-off from the vegan society that was much more anarchic, called the Movement for Compassionate Living, you know. So yeah, I think we need to recapture that. Otherwise, we're going to be lost in consumerism, you know, what I kind of call cupcake veganism, that kind of thing. So we've got to be aware of that. And social movement theory tells us that when a movement takes off and a lot of people join, then its core values are under threat. So the people who hold those core values have got to stand strong.
He's gonna block it. Is he doing it? I think.
Is that him?
He's on the phone. He's holding something inside.
He's blocking the entrance.
Okay, we're getting out.
Okay, go.
You get off my country! Get off my fucking country! Get off the country! I don't care!
Yeah, call the police.
Get off my country!
You're being recorded. You're being recorded.
That's good!
Call the police! Call the police! Your best bet is calling the police.
We're
There's 100
non-violent.
people.
Go fucking through!
You're on camera.
I don't care! This is ridiculous!
No, you're hurting animals here. We're here to show the truth what you're hiding. The only reason you're upset is because you've got something to hide.
You got nothing to hide, man. What's the problem?
Mate, what is your problem?
Actually cancelled the action. We're all here.
It's actually quite interesting because there's 7 billion people living on this planet, and everywhere we go we see humans, you know? But there's also 70 billion land animals, but we don't see them anywhere. Those land animals, we don't see them anywhere. We see other animals, we see dogs and cats on the streets or in houses, but the farm animals are nowhere to be seen, even though they are 10 times our population number. So we just don't think about it. One day we're doing activism and someone tells you, yeah, I saw a truck full of cows the other day going into slaughter. And you think, how weird is that? That they're surprised that they saw that truck. It's just hidden so well, and because it's hidden, we have to get active.
In terms of direct action, all social movements, radical social movements have found that direct action has been not only useful but crucial. And then it's a question of what type and when. But there's also a lot of controversy, you know, in the civil rights movement. You know, you got Martin Luther King, and then you've got you know, Malcolm X. And so you do have those tensions between the radicals and the moderates. You always get that, and that happened with the animal movement as well. But it does, it serves a good purpose if it's linked with education.
This is where they came through the fence?
This is exactly where they've come through. 2 barbed wire fences. This is an invasion. It was an invasion. Did they have weapons for a start? Are they militant? They're running at me. You know, have they got a stick in their hand? Have they got a gun? You know, I was fearing for my life.
This is a peaceful protest. We are peaceful activists, and we are not here to harm anyone. We are here to help people make a connection, to extend compassion to all living beings.
The media after the most recent Meet the Victims has been intense. It's been crazy that we are terrorists. I couldn't believe that the farmer said to the media that he was worried that we had guns and that we were running at him when we were actually running from him. I think because so many of us coming together now and they're getting bigger and bigger, it's looking more like an attack when we're all storming in, but we're sticking together. It's not that we're storming in to attack, it's that we are sticking together so we can safely get inside together, and we're completely peaceful when we get inside. And on the way in, we're even completely peaceful. We just need to get in there. And when you've got utes circling you and utes threatening to run you over, and you've got an owner of the property yelling at you that he's going to cut your legs off and punch your head in, and to get off his land, or his country as he called it, it's scary. And so it does look intense when the media just show that. They just show all these people storming in, and that's the wording that they use. We're storming in, but really no, we're going in to be with the victims, and that's what Meet the Victims is about.
Oh my God, there's a dead cow!
Oh my God, this is where you wanted to hide! Dead animals! How can you do this? Is this why you don't want us? Why would you do that to them?
Is this how you take care of your animals, sir?
These are sick cattle that have been destroyed.
Is this why you're not
What were they sick with?
What?
What were those cows sick with?
Respiratory disease.
Why are they just laying there like that?
How were they killed?
How
were they killed? Hang on.
They were shot. Humanely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humanely. How do you humanely shoot a cow?
Look, I'm telling the truth. The babies are down here.
All right, do you mind if a small group come with us?
Yes.
We'll come with you, and then
the rest will go back to the car.
we all need footage of the babies because we want to see how you treat them. If you show us the babies, we'll leave. You have our word.
But you all come. You all come.
Yeah, we're all coming.
They all come.
That's fair enough.
I don't feel like the media are on our side at all. I think possibly some of the individuals that come out and film us are, because I can see it in them and they actually are good people, but it's hard for them and it's hard for the truth to be told when even, you know, for example, Channel 7 chairman, he's got 1 million hectares of farmland. He owns that. So why would he ever let the truth out that could possibly sabotage his profit? Oh.
The reason we're going across there is because there was an activist by himself, so we figured that
Yeah,
safety
no, but
would
there's
be
horses.
kind of paramount.
There's horses. That person needs to get across the road themselves. Like, we just can't have, like, then some people might go after you because they see you by yourselves and there's horses chasing you guys. So
I think
we just need
three
to stick
together is better than one alone. I mean, safety
But we
should be
could see
paramount.
him. We could see him, Daniel. They will. Yeah, we could see him, Daniel. And that's something you need to speak to us about. Not when there's horses in a paddock. That's so dangerous. Daniel, I'm telling you right now, I told everybody not to walk off on each other. We could see that the activist walking across the paddock was safe. You two were not safe in a paddock with horses.
Okay, stop arguing.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, stop arguing.
I didn't know what we were going to find. And when we finally got past all of the utes and the farmers, we found 3 dead cows just laying there in a paddock, in a small pen, sorry. And they said they had only just been shot that morning, but it was obvious they had been there for quite some time. And the saddest part is they were right next door to another pen of babies and mothers, and they had to see what happened and know that their time is coming next. So can you imagine that fear of seeing others being shot beside you? Sorry, I just get so emotional when I talk about it. Because every day I just think about these things and I'm so numb, but when I actually sit here and talk about it, it all hits me.
A part of me wondered why these activists were willing to give up their own freedoms, be arrested, and even spend time in jail for this cause. So I headed to a farm sanctuary in California called Animal Place.
At Animal Place, we rescue all farmed animals used for food production. And right now we did our last census, and I think we've got 593 animals living here. We're fortunate in that we have 600 beautiful oak-studded hillsides for the animals to roam, to graze, and to just enjoy their freedom. Yeah, I think everybody who knows me knows that pigs are probably my very favorite animal. And they are for a number of reasons, one of which is the horrible reputation that they suffer, the degree of how they're treated on farms, the breeders.
Gestation crates and farrowing crates are used primarily for the pig meat production industry, but specifically the females who are being used for breeding is who will be in this type of crate. So gestation crate, it looks big when you look at it up close, but when you actually meet domestic breed pigs, they are really, really huge. Our pigs can average anywhere between 400 and 900 pounds. And so when a pig is in a crate like this, they don't have any space. Their life is pretty much standing up, sitting down, eating, sleeping, and that's about it. She'll spend most of her life in one of these crates. And in that time, she is, being impregnated, gestating. A pig's gestation period's about 5 to 6 months. And then when a female is going to be giving birth, she'll be moved into what is the slightly larger farrowing crate, which we have an example of over here. A farrowing crate is slightly larger. It allows enough space for a pig to give birth and for her piglets to nurse off of her, but not even enough space for the female to turn around and look at her own babies. And the piglets will be allowed to nurse off of the mothers for about 3 weeks, and then they will be sent to what farmers call be finished, which refers to them being raised for about 5 to 6 months, and then they will be sent to slaughter. For the female, once her piglets are taken from her, she'll be moved back into the gestation crate. She'll be re-impregnated and go through that process all over again.
They're big, they're demanding, they're indulgent, they love to eat, they love a lot of tactile stimulation. They're just so big and beautiful that I can hug them and lay down with them and they're totally cool with it. So I think pigs are definitely one of my favorite animals.
The pig barn is the barn on the sanctuary that we have to clean the least. The pigs are definitely the cleanest animals here, and that's one of the stereotypes around pigs is that they're very, very dirty animals, but that couldn't be more untrue about them. They're the only animals at the sanctuary here that specifically and intentionally go to the bathroom outside of their living quarters, and they keep their areas really, really clean. I think they get the stereotype of being dirty because they roll around in the mud a lot, but that is really instrumental for them. Pigs don't have sweat glands that function properly, so rolling in the mud is what keeps them cool in the hotter weather, but also acts as a natural sunscreen and bug repellent for them. And if you've ever driven by a larger scale pig farm, it usually smells terrible, but that is not a reflection of the pigs. That's a reflection of how they're being housed and cared for. That's more a reflection of the farm and the farmer rather than the pigs themselves.
I know this is a girl, but is Biggie coming into it?
Leon,
Biggie's a man.
Biggie, you should know
Chase,
who he is.
he's died. Oh, go that way. Hello?
Yeah, we usually go up here, don't we?
Yeah, we found a little spot, so follow us. We'll go for a walk and then we could veer into that last shed. We need to walk up a bit further and then we'll veer off to our left when we get closer. The house isn't, it's over here or something. It's like, apparently there's a hole in the fence up here. Yeah. Okay, so I'll just keep an eye on how far we're walking.
this up, but it's like attached. Well, I don't know what it's attached with, but I just wanted to scoop some water up and put it in there because there was a baby like really trying to get water. Sometimes they really like to have a scratch because they find it really hard to get a scratch. So if you get in and you give them a scratch, sometimes they really rub against you. And see if she'll do it. Feel nice? Notice how they're not even cruel to us. Oh yeah, I was looking for you. Do you know where Jessie is?
Over here. Jessie walked up. They're right there.
Okay, have we been to the pit yet? It's like a job now.
Yeah.
Like you just go to work kind of thing, like you're just completely numb.
I usually don't get emotional about the fuck that one that was like paralyzed. His back legs was just like...
Which one? Did I see that one? What was that?
So he was just like dragging himself around and like sitting upright.
So sad.
Like, I thought he died. I was holding him like on the ground and I thought he died. And it was just like really...
I know, you wait for them to die and then they don't die.
And you just wish they would.
Yeah.
Just to end the misery.
Sometimes it... it's so bad. Oh, I can't take it. It's really full. It's not been this full.
Full of compost pit. I just keep putting pigs in there and keep putting that stuff and that bog over there on top. Just letting it get eaten away.
Yeah, so they just, I don't know what the term is for it, but the death pit or the graveyard. You can see one of the mother's faces here. So when, I guess, the mothers or the babies aren't going to be
profitable, this is where they throw them. Sometimes we found them with their heads smashed in.
What's the smell like?
That's just of death, and that's the thing, like people are actually eating this smell. It doesn't smell like this in the grocery store because they've treated it in a way so that it doesn't, but this is actually what people are eating. It stinks so bad. Oh God. We use them and use them, we put them in those places and we breed them so they can't even turn around, they can't do anything. And then when we're done with them, we just dump their bodies out here. Like they never meant anything. There's no thank you, there's nothing. We just dump them out here.
After visiting the piggery, we were all exhausted and ready to head back to Brisbane. But the night was not over yet.
What I've seen with chickens definitely is just their ability to identify people who come in. For example, when we go into this main group, there's one chicken who I already know just from her hearing my voice when I came in and said, "Hey chickies." She perked up and immediately knew who I am and usually waits for me when she hears that I'm coming. So just things like that we've seen, especially our animal care team who are in here with them so regularly. There are just particular birds that gravitate towards them and know who they are and can recognize who they are. But also you see just amazing other things like emotional capabilities as well. I know for chickens, for a chicken who lays eggs and has babies in them, she often will talk to the babies while they're still in the shell. So she makes these cooing sounds so that when the babies hatch, they'll know who she is. So that's something when you think about how most hens who are being used for egg production start their lives in industrial hatcheries, that's a connection that they don't ever get to have. So this is Zeke. This is the chicken who's like waiting for me right now. Hi. Yeah, I'll get you down. Hold on. She was living as part of someone's backyard flock, and a mountain lion broke into their coop enclosure and was attacking the chickens. And Zeke, she luckily survived that attack. She did have one of her legs broken by the predator, and she had a rooster companion who defended her specifically to his death, and our staff had to handle her a lot to help get that leg healed, and so now she's just really friendly with people, loves to be pet, loves to interact with people.
To see them kind of, when they first arrive here and they're afraid of people and, they don't even know how to be and how they should be. So we rescue chickens from battery cage farms a lot of times, and they don't know how to dust bathe or sunbathe or do any of those things that chickens would naturally do. So to see that happening and to see them kind of, grow and thrive here, I think is definitely worth, any amount of work that needs to be done to care for them.
For 25 years, I ate eggs nearly every day. Omelets were one of my favorite foods. But I had never seen anything like this before.
I don't understand how it's extreme to be eating fruit and vegetables and food that's not of violence. How is that extreme? There's nothing extreme about that. What's extreme is what we're doing to the animals. It's horrifying what we're doing to them, and it's evil. I have been conscious of battery farms since I was 8 years old, and I'm now 29 years old. It's been 21 years and they still exist, and there's new ones being built. So I feel like the welfarist approach actually isn't helping. It creates steps and they take longer to reach the goal. I feel like we do have to go in for abolition. We don't need to be taking from them. We don't need to be killing them. So why not go for what they deserve? And that's complete abolition of these evil industries.
Spirit is broken. For weeks not a word have I spoken. My mind's like the sky in bad weather. The thought makes me shiver.
You know, I never thought that I would be vegan. I never thought that I would be an activist. I certainly never thought that I would be labeled as extreme. But if helping them is extreme, then maybe that's what I am.
My mind's like the sky in bad weather. The thought makes me shiver. The lack of a feeling, the lack of a seeing.
Oh, and by the way, if the Australian government asks you, that's not me.
The lack of love, the lack of love, the lack of love.
Come on, cows! Let's go! Cattle! Let's go! Whoop, whoop! Come on, cows! Let's go!
It is really strange how we connect so deeply with companion animals, our dogs and cats that we share our homes with, our beds with, our lives with, and yet have a total disregard for another. And it's not based on can they have the ability to suffer less. And it's not really based on one's lack of compassion or empathy. I think a lot of it is enculturation. We've been raised to love dogs and cats, respect them, protect them, and these other species are on this earth for us to eat. And so it makes our education work very, very challenging. But that's why we're here. We're here to save lives, most certainly. But equally important, we are here to educate people about how these animals are raised. You can't really say you love animals and then contribute to the suffering of so many.
That was like magical.
What was that? Dude, they were like sprinting together. That was the coolest thing I've ever seen.
So sweet.
Oh
I can't
my
believe how easy it was. Like that, they just that went really well. Damn.